alright. Just close your eyes. Yeah, we are tonight.
What's up, guys? We are back! Yay! It's the chica Jaylah.
Hi, I'm Gigi Rivera.
And this is For the Love of Jaylah, and it feels like it's been literally forever.
I know.
It hasn't really been that long. I think it's been like, what, maybe 1 week? Being mad dramáticas. Pero that's what it is. Welcome, you guys, to the show. We are back. We have been traveling, as you can hear. There's been traveling. There's been family emergencies. It's called life. This is, unfortunately, stuff that happens in life, work-wise. You sometimes got to just pick up and go when you get a chance. But it's been great. We finally got to spend time together again. I feel like it's been forever. I miss you.
I know. Well, yours truly doesn't have a car right now. So I did a few episodes in my house. And now we're back together.
Yes,
United.
We are back together.
United.
And this is exactly why, kicking it off with our favorite segment, kicking off every show is called Tu El Chequeo. And tell them a little bit about what El Chequeo is about.
El chequeo, lo alto y lo bajo de la semana. So, this is where we kind of vent to each other, vent to our viewers. You guys, anybody watching, definitely feel free to let us know what your alto y bajo was of the week.
Yeah, let us know in the comments. You can hit us up on our IG. Always remember, follow at For the Love of Jaylah. And all right, Gigi, how about you kick it off?
Okay, so it's so funny because my pit was just me being super overwhelmed with, the pressures of society, the pressures of I want to be successful and I want to achieve this and that, and how am I gonna get here, and what am I doing, and I'm such a failure. So I've definitely had a super depressing week where I think my brain and my mindset just gets the best of me. So that was my pit. I was going through a little phase where I think I'm a complete loser. But it's so funny because yesterday I was having a conversation with my friend Nat. And I was telling her, I'm like, I want to get like a morning routine going. I want to like wake up on time, wake up early and pray and meditate and have like affirmations. So I want to say that my peak is actually, I've had a few peaks this week too. But this week, today, when I got to Jaylah's, she surprised me with affirmation cards that one of her close friends sent us. So I was like, oh my God, the universe is listening to me. Thank you, baby Jesus. So I'm super excited. I want to definitely highlight that, make that my peak, because it's the small things that count. And I'm such a grumpy person in the morning. So to have something that I'm going to be looking forward to in the morning or afternoon, whenever I wake up, I'm so excited. I'm like, I want to wake up already. I want to see what affirmation card I'm going to get. So those are definitely mi alto y mi bajo.
It sounds like it's like life hard transitions, like where it's like
just so many changes.
It's like when you like when a butterfly, when the caterpillar is turning into a butterfly. Like,
girl, because I'm like, what am I doing? What's happening? God, talk to me. Send me a sign. So I definitely feel like a sign was sent. Amen.
Awesome.
All right. What about you?
Well, let's start with my pit. I guess for me, my pit really has been, I am exhausted. Like I literally feel like I'm running on fumes. Obviously you could tell by my voice. It's a little hoarse just from, all the traveling and all of the just back and forth. I was in 3 states in 1 week. I was in California. I was in New York. I was in Florida. And obviously, the biggest and hardest part of that also was missing my daughter. I did come home for 24 hours just to see her, and then picked up again and had to go do some other stuff. But that also kind of leads into my peak. Mm-hmm. I call it a Jaylah weekend.
You had an awesome
I had an awesome week. I mean, literally being in California, working with some of my team was amazing. And then coming home, seeing my daughter, and then going to New York because your girl came home with an award.
Jaylah famous or whatever.
Shout out to Black Girls Talk New York, who presented me as one of their phenomenal Woman Awards this year for 2021.
So awesome.
This award meant a lot to me. It was especially because it's been a really, 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 really rough year. Never expected it. Didn't even make a big deal about it until like I was kind of like getting ready, and I was like, they sent me pictures of the venue, and they, you know, put me up in Times Square, and they flew me out, and I was like, wait, this is very serious. You know, but for me, like I always just, you know, I'm humble with what I do and what I love to do. So definitely didn't expect that. Sending that out there. By the way, I want to show you guys the program. Just because, you know, we have a rivalry with the Rick H show, and they think that, you know, there's no love. Right there. Tu Chica Jaylah podcast, the Rick H show, for the love of Jaylah. So, yeah,
So
shout out to all the other honorees as well. Black Girls Talk New York. Appreciate you guys.
Shout out to the Rick H show.
Clap, 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 clap.
Shout
There's only beef because we miss you. That's it. That's the only beef we got.
I don't know about that.
HR says otherwise. But no, so yeah, those are definitely that was the peak of my week. I'm excited. And then obviously getting the show back on.
Yeah.
It feels so weird, like when you're not, like you have a routine and stuff. Thank you so much, Manny. Seeing you guys back on the show. You know, we got some stuff coming for you guys. Obviously, we're just kicking off the show. This is El Chequeo. We just finished El Chequeo with you guys. Remember, you could always check in with us all the time. Let us know what your, you know, lo alto y lo bajo de tu semana ha sido. Put it in the comments. And now this episode 5. 5 is one of my favorite numbers. So we're calling this episode Halftime.
I'm nervous.
We're halfway through the season.
I'm nervous.
We're halfway through the season for the love of Jaylah. And there's been some...
And Jaylah still hasn't found love.
Still nothing.
So I thought we should do a recap. We should do an entire recap and go through the candidates and just kind of determine who's going to finish the run.
Okay.
And who's going to get removed from the list.
We doing it like, what are we doing, like a basketball playoffs over here?
I mean, hey, it's halftime. I just feel like there's a lot of these men who you haven't really been spending time with and chatting with. So I feel like the heart went.
I'm just saying, you know, there needs to be some type of effort. I'm not asking for a lot.
There's been a disconnect between you and a lot of these men that I'm seeing right here.
Okay. So
we gotta break it down.
All right, so let's kick it off from the beginning. Obviously, for the love of Jaylah, we started off on the Rick H show. Mm-hmm. And it, you know, it was finding me love. We were gonna try 90 Day Fiance. You know, obviously I tend to go for Dominicans. So things have been obviously changing, I feel, across the course. Yeah. So let's start with some of the candidates. Obviously.
Okay. So we had AJ, who was awesome.
AJ was Rick's cousin, who he personally introduced me to the family. Very handsome gentleman.
Hold on, because you had a blind date situation on the Rick H show with AJ. Then you guys met in person at Monkey Room in New York.
Yes.
And you said you guys snuck off and went to the back and had a conversation, and some kissing might have possibly happened.
I don't know where all that information came from. Some of it is a little fuzzy, so I don't know what you're talking about. But no, so AJ was, I think, probably the head runner for most of the season of For the Love of Jaylah.
Yes.
We actually have hung out in Florida as well. We've hung out a couple times while he was in town. He happens to be in a similar area where I'm at, which is not very common. And we hung out. We had a good time. We got to get to, know each other a little bit more.
Okay.
But I do understand that, we're both parents. He has different circumstances. We live in 2 different states. And we also both have very demanding careers. So for me personally, it's not dismissing, because obviously it also has to do with effort. I think that when people, it can happen. I'm not saying it can't. I think it's just one of those things where, I'm traveling a lot. He has a lot to do. We haven't really talked much ever since. And not in a bad way. I think we're just both very busy.
Right. So would he stay maybe as a booty call type of vibe, or?
Wow, Gigi.
I mean, listen, let's get straight to it. Like,
well, we're
do
looking
we
for
want
love.
to keep him? Okay,
So we're
but
looking for love. So why we got continue down the booty call?
I
though?
just feel like you don't want to completely let go of AJ, but you don't want to. I feel like keep him.
We're gonna keep him on the bench? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
But then that's not nice. So are we
then
just gonna? Is it a booty call situation? Is it I'm gonna call you? I'm gonna see you when you in town? Like,
I mean,
the people want to know.
I don't know. I don't think it's gotten to like that point where there needs to be any definition of nothing. I think that we're still like in that, like, we've never gone on a formal date. We've never gone like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we should think you just get the buns. You can't even take a girl to dinner.
So basically, AJ, step your game up, or you about to get kicked off the team for good. And I try to vouch for you, at least leave you in the booty call zone, but she don't even want to deal with that. So, okay. Next, we have Caché.
We have Caché. Caché, I obviously have a past with as Cuatro V.
What's up with Caché?
Caché is an interesting character.
Okay.
Caché has obviously always been in love with me. And I obviously need a handyman in the house. I think we might be able to fix something out, you know? I'm just saying. Okay. And he's funny.
I like that he's funny.
He can
I
dance.
like that he can dance.
You know?
All right.
I'll give Caché his points. Caché, like, you know, AJ, Caché.
Caché, AJ?
No. Tampoco sí, because, you know, when a guy gets a little too obsessed, then we be getting some weird movie stuff. And
okay,
you know, I don't want none of that.
You season 3, heard. All right, then Chan. I love Chan. Chan is a family man. Chan lives in Dominican Republic. I could go visit him, stay with him, bring my whole family over. He could cook me some sancocho. I'm here for Chan.
I see you. You want to trade? Like,
I'm here for Chan. Like, if me and my man break up, I'm going to just have to hit up Chan.
He could dance. Guys, listen.
What's up with Chan?
Chan hasn't even tried to hit me up, though. He followed me on the gram, and then he just left me hanging. Left me on red. Can't be leaving people on red like that.
And his last name's Batista. Jaylah Batista. That sounds real cute.
What?
That sounds real cute. All right, so I'm gonna leave Chan.
I will say Chan is
in the roster.
Chan has been a fan favorite. Let's put it like that. A lot of the girls are like, dang, you know, Chan is kind of like, you know, he's older, he's wiser, he can still hang.
Right.
You know, like
that moves are on point.
All right, well, that's Chan.
I'm here for it. All right, then we have Humberto, who's Melene's uncle from DR, who she said like chills outside of the colmado.
No, that's not Melene's uncle. She said that she got an uncle that'll give Tío Humberto a run for his money. I'm still waiting, Melene. I'm still waiting. But Tío Humberto is an interesting character. I think he's a little too wise for me.
I think Tío Humberto's time is up.
I think he's a little maduro.
I think Humberto has to chill at home with his family.
It says Tío Humberto does not have an ID. You gotta catch him at the finca.
Yeah.
This is true.
Tío Humberto,
I'm scared. You know, there's a little conflict of interest because he's giving me sugar daddy vibes.
Secure the bag, sis. I think Tío Humberto, unfortunately, we're gonna have to remove him from the roster.
Is he going to be our elimination of the week?
I think so, but Tío Humberto, we love you.
We appreciate you.
You deserve the time to stay home in your casita.
Without my crazy ass screaming at the chickens because I'm scared.
Spend time at the finca. And we definitely love and appreciate you, Tío Humberto. So that is a long way coming.
This is for the love of Jaylah. For those of you tuning in, estamos haciendo un update, el resumen, because it's halftime. We're halfway through, and we still haven't found the one for me. We still haven't found the right candidate, and we got some slots left. We got some slots left. Well, you know, we're over here doing this like a whole bracket.
But we did receive a DM from somebody saying, "Oh, Jaylah, maybe you should hit this guy up."
Hold on. Before we get here,
because he's from Miami. And when I saw the IG, I was like, "Wait, I think I follow this guy."
Wait! Don't even pull him up yet. Don't pull him up. I don't want to see. I wasn't ready.
I'm pretty sure he came up on my TikTok feed, and then I just followed him.
Shout out to Jeffrey, the Alfred to my Batman. He sent me this recommendation. Jesus Christ.
I followed, by the way, for working out motivation, working out purposes and workout purposes
He just
only.
Can we go to his reel? Oh, can we not zoom? And can we go into his reels? His reels. He has a picture making breakfast, dancing bachata, and I think that was it for me. This one, the one. That's the one.
Have you reached out? Has there been any communication?
This has been a new little connect. I don't know if I'm still trying to. Jeffrey won't admit if he's hit him up for me or not. So we'll see.
Let me get a red heart in the comments if you would like to see him as a guest on our next episode. That would be very interesting.
On a future episode.
That'll be.
I'm gonna need some time to get it together because my face
super
is not a good liar.
That's definitely a brick on the apartment, by the way.
Good. Now we've narrowed it down.
He's definitely.
No, put the other one. Yeah, put the first one. The last reel. That first one.
So Jaylah, how do you feel about this man's physique? Because you haven't met him yet.
Well, I will say, physique-wise, he's not very much my type. Because I've already said it. I'm not really big into like the muscles, like the cuadritos. I'm not into the V's. I like me a nice, I like a little belly.
Yeah.
But I like arms. So as long as you have like real nice arms and you you're not sloppy. And if you got a dad bod, I'm chilling with that. But I will not deny that homie is a little handsome. And he likes, he can move. He does his little bachatica. He likes food. I'm with it. Maybe I'll bump into him at the Aventura concert this weekend.
Maybe you'll see him in Brickell walking around.
Still sit in front of Brickell from now on.
Right. Which building do you live in?
Just kidding.
All right. So, potential candidate.
All right. So now we've showed everybody. We've showed everybody. We have one potential candidate. We showed you who some of our candidates were. From this point, since we're halfway, I've had time to reflect, which I think is really important.
Yeah.
Reflecting on all this and kind of like, what are the next steps? First, we all said coming into it, I want a Dominican, I want this and I want that, and lately, obviously through this, there's been a lot of people who come up to me and they're like, yo, for the love of Jaylah, like, who are you seeing? Can I take you out? And I've gotten a lot of different people kind of hit me up and kind of like, which I've opened a little bit more of my palette to like.
I was going to say, you definitely opened the door a little bit more. Before you were very strict.
Like
Dominican, Puerto Rican, had to know how to dance bachata. Now you're like, all right, I can teach you a few moves or
like teach me what you got. Because, I'm not Dominican or Puerto Rican and I dance me in bachata. Like, I'm a Central American. So I know there's other unicorns out there like me that love bachata.
And Jaylah, you have mentioned that you're into girls as well.
Yeah.
So I was told by our producer, shout out to Craze, that we're having an awesome guest next week who is bringing on a blind date for you, who's a female?
I'm going to spill the tea. All right.
So are we switching sides completely now? What's going on?
It is for the love of Jaylah. So it wouldn't be fair. It wouldn't be fair not to, expand all of what love is. Love is love. It doesn't matter if it's a male or female.
Right.
And I'm very much, aware of that. I just haven't had the best luck
yet
in that department.
Yes.
Obviously in either side of the sex. But so I had a friend of mine who was going to be our guest, and she and I were having a conversation. Well, her and her girlfriend and I were having a conversation. And I was in California, and they were very adamant about me, about them setting me up on a blind date. So they are actually going to be our episode 6 guest.
I'm so excited for this.
And I don't know if I'm more nervous.
Don't spill all the beans.
Don't spill all the beans?
No.
Should we say who the guest is?
No, don't say it.
We're going to make them wait?
We'll announce it tomorrow. You guys head over to our Instagram at For the Love of Jaylah to see who our guest is going to be next Tuesday.
Let's just put it that
She's
She's obviously has a woman, and she is also Central American.
And you've seen her on your TVs before.
And you have seen her on your TV screens before, and I love her to death. And I cannot wait to have her on the show.
She's so awesome.
Yes, I'm so excited. So I don't know if I'm nervous to have my girls on the show or to have this blind date with a girl in front of everybody on For the Love of Jaylah.
Can somebody, like, I don't even know how blind dates work. So it's just like, hey, I've never seen or met you before. You've never seen.
I mean, nowadays.
Why can't you guys
I think
at
now
least talk before?
See, but I think nowadays it's easier because you can show somebody the IG right from the beginning. You're gonna be like, oh, that's
but
really
a
my
blind
guy.
date is supposed to be like, you have no idea what the person looks like. You have no idea what you look like.
When we spoke, when me and my friend spoke,
Uh-huh.
she said she had two people that she thought would be good for me because she knows me. One of them
I'm nervous.
leans more towards my type of like personality and vibe and career and stuff like that. The other one is completely like, supposedly is like an engineer, works for like NASA and like, so it's like, she's like, I'm gonna pick one. We're gonna do our pros and cons list, and so stay tuned for that next week.
Girl, I would be so awkward on a blind date. I'd be like, oh my God, hello. Because what if you and the person don't connect at all? At least when you're dating somebody, you can kind of more or less see like, okay, do I want to go out to eat with this person? Do I want to actually engage in an hour, 2 hour in-person conversation? But when it's the first time ever meeting somebody, like what?
I mean, technically AJ was a blind date too.
Yeah, but you had so many people around you. Let's just say on a
like a real, like a one-on-one blind
That's
date.
what I'm saying. Let's just say like a real one-on-one blind date. That must be a little.
I don't think that
awkward at
happens
first.
anymore though, because I think by the time you get there, you already have their
Already
IG.
stopped.
Not even stop.
Unless
your friend's gonna be like, yo, look at this girl. Look at my homegirl.
Unless somebody really does set it up though, where it's like,
I want it to be blind.
where it's like, yo, I have a friend for you. I'm not gonna tell you her name, her Instagram, none of that. Just show up to Outback 8 o'clock Saturday.
I do it. I'll do a real blind date.
Yeah. Okay. I might have to take you up on that.
I think Gigi should set me up on a real blind date.
Bring like all the cameras.
And no, Gigi's gonna be hiding in a corner like a stock of it. Recording everything. For the love of Jaylah.
I'm so nervous for you.
Behind the scenes.
I will be so nervous for you, girl.
But if you were picking that person, why would you be nervous?
Because I can think I know what you're gonna like or the type of person you're looking for. But then when you meet them and when you talk to them, it can be completely different, you know?
This is true.
So I don't know. But
all right, so that's what's going on for the love of Jaylah. I'm transitioning. We're still looking for candidates. So if you have anybody you want to recommend, follow us on IG at For the Love of Jaylah. Also, DM us, send us all the DMs, put their IG links. Let me know.
before it's too late, because once Jaylah gets cuffed, it's the wrap.
It's a problem. And time, let me tell y'all.
It's the wrap for all the potential candidates.
Time be ticking. Time be ticking. And also, you can also email us at, listen to me, at so many IGs, for the love of Jaylah at gmail.com. So send us that, and also, which is going to transition us to our next segment. It's Tu Dilemma. You can also send us all of your dilemmas. Gigi, tell them what Tu Dilemma is all about.
Okay, so Tu Dilemma, this is where you guys email us, DM us, leave a comment on our Instagram, pretty much telling us what's going on in your love life, maybe your friendship, any sort of dilemma you have going on. You guys trust us enough to give you some sort of advice, some sort of feedback.
Some sort.
For the most part, we end each segment with like, but do what you want.
Do what you feel like.
Do what you feel is best for you, just so we're not out here ruining anybody's lives. But yeah, this is pretty much where we talk, we chop it up. Our audience is so awesome because they also chime in and give you guys advice. So we got an email from somebody who wants to remain anonymous. We respect that. And she said, hey girls, I've been dating this guy for 7 months now and I love him already. My friends say it's too soon, but I can't help how I feel. I want to tell him, but I don't want to scare him away because he's never said I love you to me. Should I hold off or just tell him how I feel? Jaylah, go first. I want to see how you feel about this.
I'm the wrong one to ask this question too, because I'm an Aries, so my Aries is either like fire or ice. I mean, I will say I've been in plenty of situations. I've seen plenty of situations. I've seen people be together for 10 years, get married, and, you know, be divorced. And then I've seen people who've fallen in love in 4 to 6 months and they're 40 years later still together. I think it really just depends on, like, you know, you have to realize, are you in love or are you in lust? I think there's two different things. And I think, you know, it is scary because there is a high chance that you might scare him away.
Right.
But there also has to be, I'm sure, context clues. There has to be like something there. Like, you're not going to just, like, you know what I mean, just fall in love out of nowhere. Like, there has to be almost like, I don't want to say a mutual, but like kind of something that, like, dang, like there's something about this person.
I think that if you feel it, go ahead and say it. And based off of his reaction, you know, you'll more or less know where he kind of stands. I think 7 months, you know, you're almost reaching that 1 year mark where by 1 year, I'm hoping you're kind of like, okay, this is something that I want long term, or, you know, this might not be it. So I don't know. I would tell him. Honestly, I'm very free with my I love yous. Like, to anybody, I'm like, oh my God, I love you. Or like for the silliest things. Like,
I've met some, like, shout out to my girl, the Donettes, who I haven't known forever. And I feel like they're like some.
You're like, I love you.
I love you. Like, I love you guys. Like, I'm like, you know what I mean? And, and it's not like we've known, like, there's no time limit on that. Like, that's how I feel. We click like that. There's a connection. And sometimes, you know, that happens with males and females. That happens with family.
Right.
Like, you know, it happens. Like, how many times, like, you know, it's just random, like that random person.
Right,
and then years later, you're still in each other's lives for some reason.
But I think in a relationship, I guess it's a little different, because then with guys, you know, it's like there's
I think
ego,
it's a pressure.
Right.
But I think
who said I love you first? Do you mean it? This and that. So I guess it's a little different than when we meet somebody and we're like, oh my God, I love you. Like,
okay, but I have a question then. So is there a difference between saying I love you and then saying I'm in love with you?
For sure.
So where's the time limit on that? Because
I think it's all on how you feel. You know what I mean?
I just feel like anything scares guys nowadays.
Yeah, that
I love you is just like the icing on the cake at this point. I feel like they expect that more than like half of the other things they're hearing. I'd be scared of, like, quit.
So do you think she should hold off, or you think she should just go ahead and tell him?
Man, girl, I'm just gonna tell you, we have no time to be wasting time. So go for it, tell him, and if he reacts crazy, or if he doesn't understand, or if he can't talk you through it, if you guys can't communicate through it, then 7 months is the perfect time for you to say, ooh, bye.
Yeah, I agree. I think tell him how you feel, have a conversation. I'm super, like, I base my life off of movies, so I'm like, have a sit down, like, watch a movie, make it super romantic, like, I love you.
I love you.
You know,
rose
have some
everywhere.
like unicorns in the background. No, but for real, I would say definitely express yourself. I'm very big on communicating how you feel. So go for it, girl. He might be like, I love you too, baby.
That's right.
I've been loving you.
Yeah, I see. We hope.
Period.
Don't come back to us if that didn't work.
He's like,
disclaimer.
You love me. What you mean?
The girls on For the Love Jaylah said to say it to people, to do it.
Oh my God. Literally, I am not the one with these dilemmas. I'm like, I got a lot of dilemmas going on in my life. No, but for real, I think definitely just express yourself and keep it real and be honest with your boo thing. Yeah.
That's all. So now we're going to transition because, you know, there's been a lot of things happening in this world. And of course, our girl Gigi It's got her thumbprint on that. She knows what's happening. And we call this one Lo Que Pasó.
All right.
Hey, she's got all the tea.
The tea was hot this week. So, Drea Michelle, who I actually learned to love her through my friend Andy. Shout out to Andy.
She's one of those people that you like love but like hate.
Because they're like, what? Why are you here? And but she's so cute, and her body's fire. So you find yourself.
And not only that, she's an entrepreneur. Like, you know, she's an entrepreneur.
You respect the hustle.
She came out from that reality TV show BS, and she's tried to do her best to create herself as a entrepreneur, as a businesswoman,
which they all do.
You know, but okay, but there's difference. There's different ways to do it, because some of the women have gone like, what are you doing? And then there's some women that have created empires, which is a whole nother ballgame.
True. Well, she posted on her IG story, excuse me, a picture. Let's bring up the picture of, I guess, her factory. Because, you know, she has a swimsuit line called Mint Swim. So it looks like, you know, she thought it was going to be a good and motivational idea for her to post this picture. She said, everyone's in Europe and I'm just here CEOing. And yo, they ate her alive. So as you can see, Jamal said, not Drea giving visual evidence of a potential sweatshop operation, then in words saying she partially responsible and affiliated. Okay, go ahead, Jamal. But yo, the comments were bad. Everybody was saying that, you know, that's very inappropriate. Some people were siding with her and saying, oh, okay, she's a boss. Like, she's just showing the process.
Right.
But for the most part, they were coming for her.
I mean, we just live in this world where it's like, I think you should like.
Well, do you think the post is offensive? Do you think it's ethically wrong?
I don't think that I think that for somebody, you just need to know, for somebody at that stature, you need to know better. And I think that, you know, people expect a lot more, even though they don't know your struggles, they don't know your hustle. You know, there's been so many famous people that just because they're famous doesn't mean they're rich, or that they have money, or that they have, you know, incomes and stuff like that. And we live in a world of perception where, you know, fame equals money, period. And unfortunately, it's not always like that. So I don't know, you know, obviously the ins and outs of her company and what she does, but I could see some people getting offended, especially coming, you know, from immigrant families where your family has worked under sweatshop conditions and your family has gone through those things. And, you know, even though you personally might not know those feelings, you know the stories, you know the backgrounds. And when you kind of see something that kind of hits that's like, it's a little too close to home, you know, and she should know better. We live in a world where any little thing you do, say, post, wear is going to be criticized.
I feel like every 9 months or so, she gets herself in some sort of situation.
She likes to put her foot in her mouth.
Yeah. But honestly, I don't even like, and I was having a conversation about this with my friend too, I don't even like when girls post them like at the nail salon getting a pedicure and they're posting the girl like rubbing their toes, and like, I don't even like that. I just feel like, why do we have to record somebody at their job doing what they're doing? Just keep it pushing, sis. We know you're a CEO. Just post your bathing suits and go. We don't gotta see, you know what I'm saying?
I think it would have been better if she maybe posted like the end result, maybe like all the boxes packed, or like, you know what I mean? Like in the warehouse or something like that. But like to kind of like sit there, like, I don't know, just.
I think at first I was like, okay, she just posted a picture. Like I was kind of like, what's the big deal? But I think like when you really digest it and when you really are like, damn, like what the hell?
Is it weird that it low key looks like a school cafeteria? Grace, can you put the picture back up?
We're looking at it.
I don't know if I'm helping the cause.
I don't know. Tell
me it don't look like a high school cafeteria though. Like they're creating costumes for the school play.
I just hope they paid well, because them bathing suits are expensive. I think a little top is like $80 or something.
For that much cloth?
Girl.
That's not even that much cloth.
So I hope.
What is it? Silk? Like,
I don't know. You know, all these bathing suits are super expensive. So I just hope that everybody in there is getting paid what they deserve. So
right, give me more tea. Give me more tea.
We have to talk about the fact that U.S. athlete Alicia Montana,
okay,
5 months pregnant, won the 800 meters at the U.S. Nationals.
Yo, I got the chills. Yo,
girl. I have a headache and I swear I'm handicapped. I'm like, nobody talk to me for the rest of the week. I can't get up from bed. I can't imagine being 1 month pregnant and even like going down the stairs. And she's just
out there.
Congratulations.
Yo, that is amazing. That goes to show the magic and the beauty of women.
Amazing.
And like creating life. It's just, that's beautiful. It's empowering. That goes to show like, yo,
crazy.
I was not at 5 months. I was waddling to Taco Bell.
But now I have a question.
Or pizza.
Do you think this is risky running
no
at that speed?
No, not at all.
At 5 months pregnant.
No, because before you go into any of those national things, they test you for everything. You're gonna go to, especially if you're pregnant, I'm pretty sure you have to go through your
evaluations.
Yup, evaluations. You have to get medical clearance. Like, I'm sure she took everything. She probably, if it was high risk, I'm sure she wouldn't have done this. But she's an athlete. Her body's in condition. I'm sure she hasn't stopped working out her entire pregnancy. And there are women that get like that. What was her name? La Dominicana, Macia Aries. She's amazing, and she trained through her entire pregnancy, and she was huge, and it was beautiful. You know what I mean? And her bounce back was phenomenal, but not all of us get blessed like that.
That is just literally, I was staring at that picture like, girl, can I be you in another life? Because I am the most dramatic female, so I can't imagine how dramatic I'll be when I'm a pregnant female.
Oh no, we know the hormones drive you crazy, and
it's a wrap for me.
Yeah, nah, we ain't it.
And now for our last topic, I want to talk about. I was watching Nick Cannon's interview with The Breakfast Club, and as we know, Nick Cannon has various children with various women.
Nick Cannon knows what love is.
It
don't cost a thing, apparently.
Somebody said that Charlamagne, I think, was like, do you think it's a coincidence that Nick Cannon NC, no condom NC? I was like, leave Nick alone. I know, seriously, I'm a huge Nick Cannon fan. But he was saying, how he's been very vocal about the fact that he doesn't believe in marriage. He doesn't believe that us as humans can be with one person forever. And I just wanted to ask you, Jaylah, since you're in the midst of finding love, you've already been married. Do you think that Nick Cannon has a point, or do you think that we absolutely can spend the rest of our lives with one person only?
All right. This is a really hard question for me because we all know that I'm a Disney dork and I believe in fairy tales and I want a happily ever after and I want my whole Cinderella to be a Disney story, But I think that seeing a lot of the things that I've seen growing up, living a lot of the experiences that I've lived, older with relationships, I've been in both open and not open relationships. And as you get older, you kind of start understanding why people say things like this. You kind of start understanding why when, you would hear certain things, you'd be like, no, but love. And, and then you're like, oh, fuck, now I get it. Now I completely understand why they said these things. Man, I think it really just, all of it for me has really come down to the end of communication. You have to learn how to communicate. I think right. I think you can love more than one person, 100%. I don't know if maybe loving more than one person and being in love with more than one person is a whole thing. I don't think you can necessarily there's always going to be that one point where that one little pisquito leans towards like one certain soul and one certain heart more than the others.
Right.
But that doesn't mean that there are other things that I feel like maybe sometimes people don't think that one person can truly fulfill, you know, and it doesn't mean that that's sexually, it doesn't mean that that's, in any sense, intimacy. Sometimes it's just simple, easy things as communicating, easy things as, a simple hobby or, little things like that. So it's a hard kind of like to be clear, because I feel like those are things like if you're like, oh, it's one of those things that kind of bite you in the ass too.
Yeah.
And I think that for me, that's my biggest fear, because I've learned that like now, like before I would be like, I'm never going to do this. I'm never going to do that. But I think that if there's respect, there's love, there's communication, I think that there are ways to work things out. I think that people have to be really true and really honest about who they are and how they feel, because I feel like a lot of people also do things because they want to be with that person so bad. They do and say things to make them happy, forget about their happiness. But then down the road, they're like, well, I want to be happy now. And then everything falls apart, because now what started off one way was never that way. So I think if you kick it off from the beginning, like, yo, this is what it is. And if we can grow from here, let's touch base in 6 months, or like, let's be realistic about things. But it's all easier said than done, especially when your emotions start kicking in, and especially when obviously one person always wants more than the other. But again, without that communication, without that reality, because if you go in blinded, like at least when you're open about it, you have the option. Like, hey, this is where I'm at right now. I don't want to be in a full relationship, but I do want a companion, or I want somebody I can, vibe with, talk to, be like my thing, my number one, like, you know what I mean?
Right.
And we can keep it semi, like exclusive. And like, again, but those are conversations that need to be had, because obviously nobody wants to share. And especially at this end of the day, it's not even only about sharing. You got to worry about your health. You got to worry about yourself, with COVID, with STDs, with all of this other stuff. Like, it's not like just simple, like, no, I just don't want you to be with anybody. It's like sometimes like, yo, I got a kid to take care of. Like, if I'm with you and, we're exclusive, and then you're outside doing other things and I'm blindsided, I don't know what you could be doing. Like, I don't know what the other person could be doing. Forget you. I trust you. I don't trust what those other people are doing with other people. Because if they're doing it with you, what makes you think that they're not doing it with others too? So I think that's more of the turnaround. I think people just don't know how to communicate those things. I think people just think of it and take it as jealousy, instead of like, yo, I'm trying to protect us. I'm trying to protect, my kid. Like, I'm trying to do, like, I'm trying to be all right over here.
So you said something that I want to ask you about before we wrap it up. Do you think open relationships work?
I think they can. I think they just, again, it's about communication and what the open policy is, because open doesn't.
But what if you go in, right? As okay, this is my partner for life. It's just me and you. And then years later, 5 years in, the guy's like, oh, I think we should think about having an open relationship. Do you think?
I think there needs to be conversations onto why we've gotten to this point.
Is it easier if like one of the partners suggests, an open relationship from the beginning? Or is it a little harder when it's suggested, years later?
I think there needs to be, like, it can't be a surprise. Like, somebody who's going to go into a relationship with me knows that I've been in those situations before. So it's something that we can have a conversation about. Now, is it going to be the right choice for us?
Got it.
If it's not the right choice for us, like, let's say I'm on that page where I'm willing to love you or be with you enough to say, like, listen, I want to be with you. I know you're okay with open relationships, but I'm not. So if I'm not okay with the open relationship, are you willing to not have open relationships to be with just me? That needs to be my decision.
Right.
But I want you to at least, do that option. And I think that that's, again, what's important. It's all about the communication. It's all about, being able to talk, to say that to each other and be like, like, this is what it is. This is what I like. This is what I don't like. But I think it's scary that when, you have a person that's fully committed and that wants to, oh, I just want you. And then 5 years down the line, they're like, but I'm
actually,
I'm wrong. But you know, I think there's where there's okay, let's talk. Why did we get here? Why do you feel this way? And again, it's communication all in general.
Right.
But yeah, guys, it's time for us to go, but not without reminding you guys, next week we have apparently 3 amazing guests, 2 special guests, and 1 blind date for me.
I ain't ready for that.
No, and don't forget, we're gonna also post on our IG all the candidates so you could see them. Help me decide which ones I should go, which one's gonna stay, which is moving to the next round. Let me know. And also, if you have any recommendations, any candidates, where do we go?
At For the Love of Jaylah on our Instagram or For the Love of Jaylah at gmail.com. Get those in ASAP because I think next week it's gonna get serious.
And let's be real, summer's almost over. It's about to be cuffing season.
Not in Florida because it's always hot here.
Put my AC up. I'll put my coat on and my AC up. Thank you guys so much for being here. Shout out to the Uptown Live crew. You know, they're coming up next. The Rick H Show coming up 8 o'clock. Shout out to our producer who we love and deals with our pains in the butts. We love you, Craze. Craze Boogie.
Shout out to Craze.
I love you. Bye, guys. Thank you guys all for tuning in. Mwah. Bye.
Let the world around us fade. We could love like this forever. Let the rest go down in flames. And if the stars fall from the skies, the sun goes dark to endless night. Stay in my arms, I'll make it right. Just close your eyes. Yeah, we are tonight.